Happy Monday, everybody. What's up, everybody? Let me start off today's live with a few disclaimers or a few reminders. Don't take things so personally. I put up a post, I don't know what, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And I said, essentially, as a matter of fact, let's just go to it. Let's just go to it. I'm going to share my screen. Actually, I don't have to share my screen. I'm just go to it. I'm going to read it out loud. What did the post say? I said, anytime a person, regardless of their profession, is inorganically forced upon you over and over and over, and not just Erika Kirk, should be seen as a red flag, and your antennas should go up about that person. If you know, you know. I stand by that. I mean that, but I see that a lot of people get offended because I won't name a specific person, or so they get to making these assumptions about who I could be talking about. It doesn't matter who I could be talking about, or if I'm even talking about anybody in particular. What matters is that the statement applies. And the irony is, a lot of you all rock with the content. A lot of you all like to be quote unquote truth seekers, unless the person that you like could potentially be under the microscope, right? I tell you all the time, hold me under the microscope, right? The same standards that I'm setting for other people, hold them from, hold me to that same standard. But I've noticed that a lot of people get offended. You shouldn't get offended. And if you do, unfortunately, we are being just like the very people that we expose on this channel. Hypocrites, upset when people are critiquing us or looking into us or holding us accountable, right? All I'm telling you is, if a person is inorganically forced upon you, regardless of who you think it is, but for the record, the person I had in mind for that particular tweet, not saying that it's the only person in the world that I have my eyes on or that I'm watching closely, no, but Professor Zhang or Zhang, or however you say his name. Not that I don't agree with a lot of his perspectives and things of that sort, but that guy has been surging here lately. He's been everywhere, right? And that's not normal. And part of the reason that is normal, I'm going to keep repeating this, is because they don't let you blow up like that. They don't. It's just what it is. They don't. Or if you blow up, at some point, they're going to come for you. They're going to suppress your content. They're going to try to defame you, something, right? And so that guy has continued to blow up. And so I just want people to be mindful of that. All right. But the moment that you all get to assuming that it's somebody that you like, or you get offended and you get to making excuses for people, but if the shoe fits, wear it. All right. And I don't want people, it seems that even those of us that are truth seekers could still so easily become trapped because we like a person. A lot of these people that you all see are not what you think. They're not what you think. Right. The algorithm supports people who are not controlled opposition. Yes, the algorithm supports some people, but most people who are speaking about certain topics that should not be spoken about, it is extremely rare for the algorithm to support them. All right, I'm done lecturing. Let's kick this off first and foremost with a reminder. I saw this post and I thought this was incredible. Don't be like one of these people. Don't be like one of these people. It's all right if you supported someone, which falls right in line with the way I just kicked off this episode. It's all right if you thought somebody was something that they were not. It's all right if you supported someone, especially if they were pushing a good message that you agree with. All right. A lot of people are quote unquote victims of that. A lot of people fall into this category right here. But I can't blame everybody because Trump gave you good reason to. The country was in such a bad state, and it continues to go in the same direction, if you ask me, that a lot of people was looking for a quote unquote savior. Now, if you are struggling to admit that you got conned, then that's the problem. I retweeted somebody, I think yesterday, day before yesterday, that said, this is how you know when you're in a cult. When these people continue to do things that they did not campaign on, and you continue to support them and pretend like, matter of fact, that tweet was so spot on. I'm going to go and read it before we even get into everything. Let's go and read this together, shall we? Oh, yeah, by the way, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. I would really appreciate it. Helps a lot, especially with for my channel. Hitting the like button. I need as many likes as I can get because, as you all know, the algorithm don't necessarily support you, boy. All right, if I can focus and do this right. Okay, share screen. And we'll get this up here. Nope, not that one. Bingo. Says here, how to recognize that you're a cult member. Make sure that looks good on you all's end. Maybe I can make that just a little bit bigger. Okay. It says how to recognize that you're a cult member. You watch the politician you voted for make massive mistakes and serious miscalculations, and you applaud them anyway. Number 2, you see your own finances ruined under the administration you supported, yet you keep smiling and chanting, quote unquote, winning. 3, you notice the politicians you elected actively trying to restrict your free speech, and you still insist it's necessary and fully agree with them. 4, you see the people you voted for aligning themselves with crooks and corrupt figures to run the country, and you find their decisions amusing or entertaining. 5, you watch the politicians you supported do a complete 180 on everything they campaigned on, and you still cheer for them like a loyal sheep. Wake up. The politicians you've fallen in love with are preparing to put a leash on all of you. Shout out to this person, whoever this is. Kevin, you hit it right on the money. And unfortunately, that doesn't just stop with politicians, right? Because a lot of the people that this right here applies to actually also applies to the content creators and the people that were placed into position to support these people, like your Laura Loomers, right? Like your Mark Levins, like your Ben Shapiro's. Everybody had to play their role, whether they was the good guy or the bad guy. They played their role. And all I'm here to remind people of, I'm not perfect. I'm not asking you all to 100% trust me, but it's not just presidents, and it's not just presidents who hire content creators to push a certain narrative or to support them no matter what, to keep the people in line. It's not just politicians. It's also wealthy commentators and content creators who pay other people and media outlets to support them. Music artists do this, right? They have a scandal that come out about them, but they pay off media members to still support them because they know a lot of people are followers. And if this particular media member or if this particular content creator still likes and support this artist, then I should too. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. They understand how this works. That's all I'm saying. So if I'm telling you, be wary of these people who are inorganically on the rise, and you're offended, or you're coming to me and saying that I'm jealous of people, you've completely missed the mark. It's not about jealousy of anyone, right? I'm not jealous of Professor Zhang because of the recognition that he's getting. I agree with a lot of the message that he's pushing, but even he himself has said he finds it strange that the algorithm has allowed his content to splurge. He said that himself. He either said that to, he's been on so many platforms at this point that I don't even remember. Maybe he said that to Tucker. He said it to somebody. He said that he finds it strange that the powers that be, that the owners of the people that run these platforms, has allowed his content to run as long as it has and to become as popular as it has. And he says that he feels that the powers that be are using his content to ignite more division and to cause people to become in fear, something along those lines. He said that himself. So I want you to consider something. A person that I'm telling you, or one of the multiple people that you should be suspicious about, if one of those people is telling you, even me myself, I'm shocked. Like if I started posting videos and all my videos are doing Like, I'm gonna tell you somebody, I'm actually name somebody, and this isn't a knock to him. I've been critical of him before in the past. But before we get into today's content, which we will, I promise you, but this is so important for people to understand here at the beginning. When you look at a person like, what's the guy name? Valhalla VFT, I think that's his name. Shout out to that guy. A lot of the things that he says about politics, I agree with him. Not here to knock his position in politics, because we tend to agree. He makes fun of Ben Shapiro, them. He calls these people out, hold them accountable. But man, he's been on A. Jones, who just had his last episode with InfoWars just the other day. But Valhalla gets a lot of support. Like, he got 100,000 views in 3 hours. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's you don't see that a lot. I think that's a safe way to put that. That's all I'm saying. They don't allow that stuff like that to just run rampant. Not often, you know? And so once again, that's all I'm saying. Don't end up being one of these people. All right. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing some things that I saw someone post something or allege something about Erika Kirk that I'm actually going to, quote unquote, I guess, defend Erika, or at least clear this up, because I don't believe that this is necessarily true. And I'm going to cover that they've alleged or insinuated that she's dating another person that is in the spotlight in media. And I want to sort of give my thoughts on that. I've looked into it. And but before we get into that, and as well, we're going to get into George Zinn. George Zinn has allegedly been spotted at other TPUSA events, I believe back in like 2017 or 2024. And as we know, because, and we'll discuss this here in a moment, I've already discussed George Zinn, for those of you that don't know, in great detail in this video here from 7 months ago. This is before many of you all even found the channel. This was at the very beginning. I went ahead and did a deep dive into George Zinn's life, his quote unquote career, his mental health, and the events. And anyways, we'll get into that in a moment. But before we speak about Erika, before we speak about George Zinn and the woman that he was in attendance with at this event and how it ties to Candace Owens, I want to give a shout out to Nick Fuentes, who I disagree on a plethora of different topics. I've also called out Nick for multiple things, but you give credit to where it's due. And sometimes, the friend of your enemy or the enemy of your enemy can sometimes be an ally. And in this case, he completely washed Matt Walsh here. I want you all to take a listen.
Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, time to do the right thing. So when I look at the Daily Wire, this is a very critical battle. This is extremely symbolic and important in the grand scheme of things. And I will tell you this, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be around forever. The only thing that's going to tip it in is if the Goyim rise up from within. That's really it. If Walsh and Knowles stay at the Daily Wire, they will trudge around forever. They will trudge along. They're never going to go away. But if Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles, if they grow a pair and say, you know what? They don't even need to say why they're doing it, but they just need to take a hike. If they just leave, it's like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Like, you're going to sit there and let Ben Shapiro electrocute Brett Cooper and Candace Owens? They're suing Candace Owens. They're making fun of her with her own show. They hired Brett Cooper's, what do they call it? Maid of honor at her wedding? Calling her an anti-Semite? It's like you're letting them do this to your friends. You're letting them betray the country. You got to pick Ben Shapiro up, metaphorically, and throw him down the chute in the Death Star. But if one by one they leave, and then you get Daily Wire, it's just Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan, two evil shaking their fist about anti-Semitism, then people go, whoa. So that's really all it ever was. It's this decrepit, wicked, bankrupt, foreign influence operation. No one watches them. No one likes them. No one takes them seriously. It's just these two old Jews, these two nasty, wicked, mean-spirited old Jews shaking their fist every day at everybody else, at Tucker, at Piers, at Megyn, at Candace, at Brett Cooper, at me, at Alex Jones, at this one, that one. And they make no money and nobody likes them. And they got their hats that keep getting bigger. They need to be quarantined so people say that's what that is. And there's no confusion. They need to start that campaign back up again. Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles cannot go anywhere without being told you are a traitor. You are helping Daily Wire. This is an Israel First, fifth column in our country. These people hate Christ. They hate Christ. They're not Christian. They hate America. They're trying to cancel Tucker. They're trying to censor the internet. They hate Megyn Kelly. They hate Piers Morgan. And you two sit there and take a paycheck from them. You sit there on a Zoom call and make jokes with them. They should get no peace. Yes, it is a fatwa, not violent, not harassment, not anything like that, but they should have no peace. Anytime they go to a public event, any tweet, the response should be, shut the up. You work for Israel. You are taking a paycheck from Ben Shapiro. Shame on you. Shame on you as a Catholic. Shame on you as a white man. Shame on you as an American. How dare you think that you're some kind of immigration patriot? You think you're a patriot because you're going to do some diatribe about brown people in America? Ben Shapiro signs your paychecks, you cocksucker, and they should be reminded of that every single day. Matt Walsh gives these monologues about, what it is to be a man is to be brave for your family and children. Bro, Ben Shapiro is putting food on the table for your family and children. It's despicable, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Michael Knowles wants to do some diatribe about, I went to Yale, I'm going to do some Thomistic philosophy. Matt Walsh, I'm this white guy, and I don't like immigrants. It's like, you guys work for, you are Shabbos Goy. You are a couple of Shabbos Goy. Just flip the light switch on and shut the up. At the minimum, Ben Shapiro is fighting for his nation. I am fighting for my nation. You are confused. You are working for the enemy. You are a bitch. You are carrying Ben Shapiro's rickshaw and running through the streets, taking him to the kosher deli.
Cooked them. Completely cooked them. This comes in light. Right. Shame on you as a white man. I thought that was so funny. But I'm going to tell you why I decided to leave that part in there. It's because normally, as we know, he believes that white people are superior and things of that sort. Nick Fuentes has said that, double down, and that's complete foolishness. But the reason why I decided to keep that in there, because in this particular case, his argument is that the people that Matt Walsh is working for has critical and harsh and, quite frankly, racist opinions about white folks, right? We've seen what Josh Hammer thinks about Europeans. He said that they are inherently anti-Semitic. This is what he said. But I want to state for the record that I did not 100% agree with Nick Fuentes, obviously, on many of his views. I do agree with him on many of his other views. It just depends on what we're talking about and how much you want to digress into these topics. Also, I want to state for the record that I don't agree with many things or some of the things that he just stated in this video, right? Some of the generalizations that he's making, but he's spot on with most of the things that he said in this video. I want to be clear. And that message right there, for those of you that don't know, was for YouTube. Just so you understand, YouTube, where I fall and where I stand with these things. Nick Fuentes is his own man. Also, this comes in light of the news about, as I'm sure most of you have heard, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire laying off about 50% of their employees, which shouldn't come as a surprise because Ben Shapiro's YouTube channel, he's lost 80%, not necessarily of his audience, but of his income from YouTube alone. And he's lost maybe 100,000 subscribers over the past few months, right? Over the past few months. It's not George Zinn at the TPUSA event, if that's what you're going to talk about. Yes, that's what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to give my opinions. I know what you're talking about. I have some of the still shots. And but again, I like to discuss these things with you all. So thank you for the heads up. But I'm still going to, because it's still worth reacting to the video collectively as a whole. You know what I mean? And so also, I want to show you all this video that will be completely relevant. It will be relevant here in a moment once you see some of these other things that we'll talk about. This is a White House official showing us this underground bunker in the White House. The reason why this is relevant is because later in this video, in this live, we're going to discuss the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And the ballroom that's being discussed, and as many of you all may have heard, or if you've watched my original video, it's been alleged by many people that there are special reasons why the Trump administration is wanting to, or really the ruling class is what I refer to them all as, Democrat and Republicans, why they're wanting this ballroom built, because something will be built underneath it. All right. And some people have tied it to Solomon's temple. But before we get ahead of ourselves, a lot of people like Matt Walsh says that this is complete nonsense. It's conspiracy theories, as if it's so far-fetched to believe that they can build something like that at the White House or in general. Well, watch this video of a White House official openly showing us that this is something that's been built for centuries.
So this is one of the neat things about the U.S. Capitol. Of course, this building, construction started in the 1700s. And there are all sorts of little hidden passageways. You saw I just pulled this cover up. Yeah. And you can see, if we get the camera to come over, don't fall in. We don't need a workers' comp claim today. But you can see there's a passageway. These are long stairs that used to be here that were closed off. We're just off of what's called Statuary Hall, which at one time was the actual House chamber. So, and it's outside there. But this is just an example of some of the little hidden secrets in the Capitol. And so one of the things when we bring tour groups in, if it's a small enough group, if it's a big group of people, but if it's a small group, we'll actually take them down this hall. Believe it or not, my big self have actually gotten down, and more importantly, out of this hall. I'm not going to debut that again for today, but suffice to say, I've been able to live and tell about it and get out of there. But it goes all the way down. It's an old staircase, and I'm told, I can't verify this, I'm told that this staircase, which opens to, if you go down and formally open to the outside, was one of the staircases that British soldiers used when they breached the Capitol during the War of I think it was 1814, when they actually attacked Washington. When they came in, it was one of the stairs that British soldiers actually came up.
This is public information. This is what they're openly telling us. This is what they're openly showing us. So this is not the end of the world, but the point of this is to just say, look, this is possible. Why is it so far-fetched to believe that a new ballroom that will be far more advanced, logically, and more advanced just from a from a construction perspective, that it's not hard to believe that they'll do something like this, right? At all. Something else that I wanted to debunk that is very important. If you all have not heard, there's a guy by the name of Craig Long. How many of you all have heard about this story? I'm sure most of you have heard about this story already. And I wanted to just give my thoughts on this story here. This is a quote-unquote MAGA influencer by the name of Craig Long that was just arrested. And we're going to take a listen to the video so that you all can, for those of you that don't know or have not seen the clip, have not heard about it extensively, we're going to listen to what this guy was arrested for. And I'm going to tell you why it's important that we sort of clear some things up regarding this story.
Then there's Craig Long we arrested. He's 41. Some of you may recognize him. He's an influencer. He also owns Craig Long Fitness in Tampa. He was seeking the services of a prostitute. Did I tell you that he's married? That he's got 125 followers on Instagram?
What he means is 125,000 followers.
568 followers on TikTok?
What he means is 568,000 followers on TikTok. Just a innocent misspeak.
Well, I'm going to give him some content for his social media today. He was a previous felon who straightened up. Really what we want to see in life. Now he's an influencer. He moves in big circles, even with the president. This is a photograph with the president and his son not long ago. Now, we like to see people who make mistakes early in life, and he had a long history straighten up. We like the fact that he likes the cops. Heck, he liked them so much, he got caught up in a sting and got to be up and real close with the cops. We asked what his attitude was. They said, he had a great attitude. He appreciates law enforcement. Well, there you go. Got arrested in a human trafficking sting. Influence that for a while.
So this is the confusion around this story, because this guy the narrative that's being shared about this guy, Craig Long, which trust me, I would have no problem. I would be the first person on here. And one of the first things I would have said was, does anybody find it odd that Craig Long, MAGA influencer, closely tied to, I shouldn't say closely tied to President Trump, he just took a picture with him, but tied to other people like Dan Bongino, Officer Tatum. He knows all of these people on a first name basis. Is it a coincidence that he's tied up in a HT, inappropriate movement of human bodies ring, and he's tied to the same administration that's been protecting PDF files? No, I'm not shocked to find out that he's a PDF file. I'm not shocked to hear that. But the problem here is I don't know if that's exactly what happened with this guy. And I think a lot of people are confused, and you're probably going to be just as confused as I am, because over 200 people, I think we just saw that on the screen, was arrested. Let's see what it says here. It says, according to PCSO, on April 22, Craig Long reached out online to an undercover detective who was posing as a SEX worker. The 41-year-old then arranged to meet with her in Bartow, where he offered her $100 for, quote unquote, something quick. Something quick. That's so funny. Long was then arrested and charged with one count of soliciting a prostitute. So unless they're holding out some information, I'm confused here. The guy is a bad husband for doing this. You can say that he's a bad human for doing this. You can say he's disgusting for doing this. And I would agree with all of those characterizations. But it's not the way that they're painting it, though. Right? Did he do something else that I'm missing? Where's the... Right, exactly. Where at? Where is it at? And they're plastering this guy's picture all over the place. It's not, and some reputable people were sharing this and running with the narrative, but did we actually read what they stated about the guy? You do know that in Vegas, what he tried to do is completely legal. In my opinion, if I remember correctly, I believe this is legal. Let's read what it says here. Craig Long, MAGA influencer, arrested in Polk County, prostitution sting. See, that just sounds so dramatic. A sting. So that would make me think that there's multiple victims and maybe a nationwide, or it's, attempting to move people across state lines, or maybe even across, from different countries, or some sort of multifaceted, orchestrated, complex, ring. It says Craig Long, a MAGA influencer, was among 266 people arrested in a sting in Polk County, along with January 6th rider Ryan Yates. And there we see him. It says Sheriff Grady Judge announced the arrests were related to prostitution. You see the term here, child predators, as per local channel WHMI. All right. I'm still trying to hear what he did. States that he moves in big circles. Okay, we got all of that. We made 266 total arrests. He said adding about 247 of them were in HT operation. All right, but was any of those people actually Craig Long, though? The sheriff continued that suspects collectively had 1,028 previous charges before deputies added 439 more charges to the repertoire. It sounds good, but they could just be conflating things. Majority of those charges could be, that's a lot of charges. Let's be clear. That's a lot of freaking charges. But I'm still not hearing what the dude did wrong as it pertains to those headlines. If I'm missing something, if you all know something that I don't, let me know. Because I'm not seeing it at all. I'm not seeing it at all. Especially when you consider the fact that you got this guy. If you all have not heard about this story, it says Israeli government official arrested in Nevada in internet crimes against children sting. Tom, is it Artyom Alexandrovich? I feel like some of these folks take people's names and just add a Vich or XY at the end. Alexandrovich was released and returned to this one foreign nation after being charged with luring a child for a you-know-what. I heard about this story a while ago. I think this is like a year old maybe. But this is an actual PDF file, right? This person is an actual PDF file. So I just want to make sure that we're not, conflating charges and conflating actual crimes. A crime is a crime, but make sure that it's headlined appropriately. That's all I'm saying. Let me see. Make sure I'm going in order here. Okay. So the next thing is, so shout out to Zach from Wolves in Finance. Watch his video. He released a video yesterday. Incredible video. I'm actually very proud of Zach. I meant to reach out to him personally and tell him I'm proud of him because Zach didn't strike me as the type to lean too much into these sort of narratives. And I know he previously supported Trump, but this video, he was extremely objective. And I was thoroughly impressed, brother. So if you see this video, Zach, very impressed with the video, bro. There is a part at the very beginning of your video where you stated that something about Erika Kirk. And I was actually very shocked and surprised to learn this. So I'm going to have everybody to take a listen first before, and then we're going to sort of give our thoughts.
Get 30 protein sticks for just $36.
Anyone who has been to Home Depot before knows that PVC pipe is not the strongest material. It is not designed to carry the weight of a human being. There are a lot of other materials that are around the same weight, but a lot stronger. Here is some advice to anyone with a handicap. Do not sit in a wheelchair made of PVC pipe. It's not safe. I have no idea why NASA would hire this guy because he does not look like he knows what he is doing. But I will say that it is very scary that this guy was hired as a teacher in California. Here he is receiving an award for Teacher of the Month. This crazy shooter is the guy who is teaching your children. If I lived in California, I would be very concerned. Now, I've been watching a lot of footage from this event, and I started noticing some things that seem strange, starting with Erika Kirk. You might ask, why was Erika Kirk even there? She's not a member of the press. She's not in the White House. Why was she there? It turns out she was being escorted by Fox News commentator Lawrence Jones. Charlie Kirk was assassinated 7 months ago. Why is Erika Kirk already going on a date with this guy? Does that seem a little quick to anybody? Now, it is not unheard of for a widow to start dating so quickly. When JFK was killed, his wife, Jackie Kennedy, started dating again after 6 months. She was dating the architect who designed the memorial for JFK. Personally, I think that's a little creepy. So even though it's not unheard of to date so quickly, with Erika Kirk, it still rubs me the wrong way. Let me know in the comments, if you've ever lost a spouse, is it normal to start dating again within 7 months? After the shooting happens, the cameras captured Erika Kirk leaving the event. I just want to go find you. She is crying. She looks distraught. She is saying, I just want to go. But then there's this other footage outside the hotel.
Yeah. All right, guys, keep moving out that way.
Erika Kirk is just chilling outside the hotel. She's not crying. She's not upset. She's just chilling. And you can literally see all the other people leaving the hotel and walking past her down the sidewalk. For some reason, Erika Kirk wants to stay in network or hang out with her buddy, Kash Patel. These two video clips are in such contrast to each other, you have to wonder if her crying was fake.
I am totally in agreement with Zach with every other thing that he said here, except for the beginning. First of all, as I said, I wasn't aware that, Erika was potentially dating this guy. That would have been news to me for sure. But I did look into it because I hadn't heard this up until this point, and it is my belief that, and this isn't a knock at Zach, maybe Zach had good reason to believe this, but from what I've been able to find, I don't believe that she's dating this guy. Not only that, I don't believe that she was even at the event at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with this guy. This is just for the record. Again, this isn't a knock on Zach at all. I think he does great work. But I do want to make sure that we want to stay as accurate as possible, especially with a woman like this who's been as heavily scrutinized as she's been, and the magnifying glass that she's under by all of us. It's important that we sort of, because this would be major news, right? But it turns out that this photo wasn't even from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It was actually from Fox News, posted here, shining bright tonight. So wonderful to have the incredible Miss Erika Kirk and Lawrence Jones this evening. Fox News VIP cocktail party, White House Correspondents' Dinner. So I believe this was prior to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. All right. And here's the photo there. It says, people are losing it over Erika Kirk photograph with Lawrence B. Jones of Fox and friends at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night. One person wrote. Another added, Erika Kirk might be dating Fox News host Lawrence B. Jones because she moved on from Charlie Quick. Does anyone want to watch an Erika Kirk show on Fox News? Yet another person shared their photo and wrote, here's Erika Kirk and Fox News anchor Lawrence B. Jones at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Despite viral claims and allusions online, Erika Kirk is not dating Lawrence Jones. The two merely posed for a photograph, and it was not at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, as many posts claimed. The two were pictured at the Fox News VIP cocktail party, which took place ahead of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And again, I mean, these people can state all they want that they aren't dating. This paragraph of this website, don't know if they're actually dating or not. You don't know what they're doing in private. However, I do believe that it's important that they make the distinction that it has not been publicly declared, or we haven't had any reason to believe, like they haven't been intimate with each other publicly. And also, it says that the photograph was not even from the Correspondents' Dinner. All right, so this was pictured at the cocktail party, which took place ahead of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So I wanted to state that for the record. But I also want to shine a little bit of give a little bit of credit to Zach as well, because later in this video at the 20-minute 08 mark, let me find this. Let me go back to the video. I want to show you all something that he revealed. And if this is true, then this is pretty crazy.
There's a layer of muscle.
Makes sense if Trump would want to recreate that jump in polling by faking another shooting, because at his current polling numbers, he's getting pretty desperate. It is also curious that this photograph was found on Cole Allen's Instagram page before it was removed. An X.com account called The MAGA Report first posted this photograph of Cole Allen wearing an IDF sweatshirt. Why would a man in California who worked for NASA be wearing a sweatshirt for the Israel Defense Forces? Since this photo surfaced, there's been a flood of accounts on X.com that are claiming it is AI generated. They are posting other images with Cole Allen wearing other outfits that are AI generated, and these accounts claim this is evidence the original photo is a fake. The New York Post even wrote a whole story about how this photo is fake. Personally, I did not find their explanation very convincing. I think it is funny that the New York Post is trying so desperately to keep everyone from looking at this photo. Currently, we cannot authenticate the photo of the IDF sweatshirt one way or the other. However, we do know that Israel has one of the best spy agencies in the world. We also know that Donald Trump is working closely with them in the current conflict with Iran. So if Donald Trump did want to create a hoax, he might coordinate with the IDF to make it happen. It gets even more strange. People were searching for information on Cole Allen online and noticed that someone named Henry Martinez posted Cole Allen's name on December 21st, 2023. Henry Martinez just happened to work at NASA at the same time as Cole Allen. The image on the Henry Martinez profile is displayed on a website called Time Machine. If you look closely at this image, it appears that Trump's photo from Butler, Pennsylvania is embedded in the design. This photograph is digital artwork called Eternal Waterfall and was uploaded to the Unsplash website on October 28, 2021, nearly 3 years before the Butler attempt on July 13, 2024. So the question is, how did this artwork have embedded in it the image of Trump from the future? And why is Henry Martinez using this image from the Time Machine website? And why is Henry Martinez posting the name Cole Allen years before this assassination attempt on Trump? Candace Owens recently covered on her podcast a secret CIA program called Project Looking Glass.
This is where things take a turn. Because according to Bill Wood, a former Navy SEAL with high-level clearance, the US military once had access to a device called Project Looking Glass, a technology that could supposedly view potential future timelines.
Is it possible that this NASA scientist somehow saw the future and predicted that Cole Allen would attempt to kill Donald Trump?
Great work on Zach for noticing that, because most of the things that he shared in this video, I had already shared covering the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but these, like the information about Erika potentially dating Lawrence B. Jones from Fox and Friends, and particularly this part here, I even already shared the information about the IDF shirt. However, this part right here, which is significantly important, I did not share because I was not aware that the image here was from 2021, which was 3 years prior to the whole Butler, Pennsylvania situation, which I've already told you all. I've covered that so many times. I've given you all reasons to believe that I've given you all the reasons why I believe that it was a hoax. It was staged. It was obviously staged. But something else I want people to consider is when you look at this photo here, the photo looks, and I thought this the day of, and I think this even still now, what is it, 2 years later, I believe that this photo looked too perfect. I'm not even so sure if this is the exact image from that day. Right? I believe that, yes, Trump was there with those Secret Service members, et cetera, but I don't know if this photo that we're looking at was from that very moment. There's a good chance that this photo is a photoshopped image. Why is that important? Because that could explain why and how they had this photo 3 years before. Another thing that could explain it, because as you all know who have been sort of religiously following the channel and keeping up with the things that we've covered on this show episode by episode, let me show you all this book. A lot of you all are going to be familiar with this book, but for those of you that are not, there's a book called The Barron Trump Collection. Are you all familiar with this book? Let me move this banner. How many of you all are familiar with this book? I'm curious. Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar. Put a 2 in the chat if you are not. Okay. So Oh, it's about 50-50. Okay, maybe not. Most people says that they're familiar. Okay, I'm getting a lot of ones now. Okay, so this book here, sort of quote unquote predicted. As you can see here, it says the Barron Trump collection. And in this book, I'm gonna sort of summarize this book quickly. This book essentially talks about how a guy by the name of Barron Trump, his father would go on to become the president of the United States. And his father will be the last president in the history of America. This book also goes on to state, and this book was written, I don't want to butcher it, but it was written like, let me ask. Before I mess it up, I'm going to look it up right now so I don't get this wrong. Let's see here. When did the Barron Trump book come out? So this book was written, it was originally published in 1893. 1893. I knew it was in the 1800s, but I couldn't remember the year. This book also states at some point that the father of Barron Trump will at some point rid the value officially, as the value of the US dollar has been decreasing and has become less valuable every decade over the past, really, since it's been the main source of income in this country. But essentially, this book talks about how either the gold standard would be brought to an end, or somebody said I'm very familiar with Barron Trump's books. It talks about how the US dollar will under this president will completely lose its value. And I've seen people make the connection that that could sort of lead us into the quote unquote new world order, the quote unquote beast system, right? The new age of the beast, and officially bring in the digital dollar, crypto, Bitcoin, etc. If you all would like a full breakdown on this book, it's a very, very dense book. It's extremely extensive. I'm going to need some time, but I'll try to make that happen. But the reason why I'm mentioning it in this particular case is because this information that Zach just shared about this image, that so that nobody under I don't want people to take lightly what he just shared. There's an image from the Henry Martinez Twitter account that tweeted Cole Allen years ago. The head banner on their Twitter page is this image that shows Trump, the 2023 staged event, in my opinion. Cole Allen also happens to be a part of another quote unquote assassination attempt on Trump. But Zach was able to find that this image was actually created back in 2021, which was years before. It reminds me of this book because this book did the same exact thing, except this was centuries before. All right. As I've stated with the Illuminati card game, as I've stated with the tarot cards, I don't believe that these people are predicting the future. I don't even think, if you want to get into Project Looking Glass, I can do a video or breakdown on that another time. I believe, as I've stated before, that these are Freemasons, and I believe that the country was founded by the free and accepted Masons, and I believe they have plans. I think this is predictive programming because they have plans set in place. The Trump family has been a family for a while, right? For a while. So it should not shock anybody, or at least overly shocked. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like, this stuff is still not like mind-blowing to me in some regards, sure. But once you delve into like a lot of the things that this book talks about, it's clear that I don't think these people are seeing the future. I think these people are setting certain plans in place. There's a saying a while ago that I've heard. I haven't heard in such a long time, but it's best that we, as regular people, or most people, the common man, will prepare. I think it's like a year in advance, months in advance. But the ruling class will prepare hundreds of years in advance. They have 200-year plans, 100-year plans, right? Meanwhile, we're being taught that, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? When these people already know what they're planning to do in the next 150 years. And they're doing things right now to make sure that those things can most likely take place, as long as you're doing what you need to be doing right now in the meantime. Right? So yeah. That is not something that people should overlook. So once again, if you are part of this crowd, it's not the end of the world just admitting that you were conned. It's not. You're not a bad person for it. In fact, it proves your integrity and that you're not a bad person by pivoting and going to the left and just admitting that. Because it's a lot deeper than just politics. All right. All right, man. Let's get to this Nick Fuentes clip where he was being sort of kicked out of a Charlie Kirk event. And I've been very open about this. This event that he was kicked out of, this was, as it says here, Brian Harpo kicks Nick Fuentes and Jake Shields out of TPUSA event, while George Zinn is spotted arriving in the background with red MAGA hat in hand. I'm going to state here at the beginning, before we get to this part, I am not stating equivocally that the person we're about to see is George Zinn. Again, as we've extensively covered George Zinn in the past right here, I would just highly encourage people to go and check this video out. But it is interesting, sort of the context of the video, the reason why Nick Fuentes is being kicked out, the fact that he's being kicked out by Brian Harpo, of all people. I still think it's important that we at least take a look. And I want you all to tell me if you all believe that this is our good old friend, George Zinn. So with that, but if we don't get anything else out of this, we will definitely get a great back and forth.
By who? Hold me. Am I being detained? No. No, I'm teasing. I'm sorry.
Literally broken no rules other than President Israel, and I thought we're in America, not Israel. That was my take.
Yeah, the field rep said he was fine.
Are we in Israel?
mean, no, we're in America, I'm pretty sure.
Is America? Doesn't feel like
Let's
America.
get Candace out here. Let's see.
Does it feel like America?
Yeah,
Security's
just doing their job. I mean,
I'm just curious.
is there anyone we could talk to?
Who could talk to?
Yeah, this is from the higher allowed to walk around, go upstairs, or is it from the whole building?
Well, why doesn't the higher up?
Me? This guy's getting criminally trespassed?
You could just talk to the higher up. We're just curious why he's being kicked out.
Why am I getting kicked out? What did I do?
What?
We're just curious. If this is America, there's no reason to get kicked out.
Hey!
What did he do?
I think I remember you.
I'm curious. Well, what was his offense? But why though? What did he do?
You got the wrong. I thought I
Did he
was the
criticize
guy.
Israel?
I know I
Can
was
you not criticize Israel in America?
Yo. It's because Israel controls this event.
So this is where it's sort of going to spice up a little bit as they move outside, and then once they step outside, we'll be able to see this person that people are alleging looks a lot like George Zinn, along with some lady who has yet to be identified as far as what I've been able to see. I do want to state that this was during a time when this event happened. I covered this, or I didn't cover the video in its entirety, but this was the time that I was very critical of Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, was petrified of Nick Fuentes. Not because he felt like Nick Fuentes was intellectually superior to him, but I think Charlie Kirk knew on this topic, it was a lose-lose topic. There's no way you publicly debate Nick Fuentes on this issue and you come out looking good, because Nick Fuentes not only has the facts on a lot of these topics, but he's willing to get in the mud with you, if you will. And I was very critical of Charlie because of it. So Nick Fuentes was banned from any and all TPUSA events, which is quite literally anti-free speech. Not allowing a person with a different opinion from you to attend because they have sort of garnered too much power and influence. I did not agree with Charlie on this matter, and I clearly saw the hypocrisy when it came to Nick Fuentes. He dodged that guy as much as you can dodge anybody in politics, and it was obvious.
And Alex are outside. America, this is about Israel. You're a cuck for Israel.
I do.
You're a
know.
foreign agent. Yeah, you're a foreign agent.
Israel.
You're a foreign agent. You suck Israel cock.
He would beat you in a fight. Shaking your hand.
I'm not shaking your hand when you fucking.
Jake.
Israel. I'm America first, not Israel first.
Yeah.
I love my country. You do not love your country. We fucking love our country and want to take our country back, and you don't.
I know it's a formal trespass. We've done this before, you and me. Yeah. You trust me. We trespassed me in Miami, right? Or was it West Palm?
It's like Batman show.
Let him back in.
I am doing you a favor.
Let him back in. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
let him back
further
in.
proof.
Come on.
This is still Israeli occupied territory.
Yeah.
Candace Owens or not, this is still Israeli occupied territory.
Yeah. Yo,
right,
Nick,
we'll
I
take
hate
it off.
Zionist establishment
You're from Germany?
Yeah, so, and we hear America is the country of the free speech.
No.
Obviously not. Can you please give us your opinion about that?
Yeah, free speech is dead. You know, they say cancel culture's over. It's not over for people that criticize Israel. Yeah. And even Candace Owens, she'll be speaking here later tonight. You know, she's been critical of Israel. Before this event, they put out a statement, israel.tpusa.com. You can look it up yourself. And they disavowed her. They said Turning Point does not sponsor her views. They say she's not an employee. And they're basically, before she even speaks, apologizing on her behalf to the Zionist Jewish donors that might be offended. So this is not a free country until we can criticize the foreign state of Israel.
What are your three topics for criticizing Israel? So me as a German, that's very interesting to us. So can you tell, because we are in Germany not really allowed to criticize Israel either.
Yes. Well,
Nobody can.
I think everybody knows that Israel is prosecuting a genocide in Gaza right now. They've killed 30,000 women and children. They've done it with our money. They've done it with our bombs. It is reprehensible to any Christian to support what Israel is doing in Gaza right now.
War?
Israel. The Nakba in 1948, when they massacred thousands of people after they invaded the land. Right. And Israel's leaders should be kissing our wall.
So, what do you think about that? What happened in Israel when the Israeli police went into this Orthodox Christian church and ripped out this pastor by just doing his gospel? Because they're saying that they want that the Christians support Israel in any kind, and every American has to support Israel. But seeing that on the news, what is your opinion about that?
Well, Israel vandalizes Christian churches. They bomb Christian churches in Gaza. They spit on Christians in the.
I don't want to get too much into this. YouTube is probably already about to flag this video. So I'm trying to get to the point. It's about maybe the 7-minute mark, 6-minute mark, where we see a person get out the car.
What protest?
That we've always gotten, which is Israel first, America last. So, I go in there and the guy, Jake Shields is saying, why is he banned from the conference? The guy goes, oh, he knows why. He knows why. We do know why. It's because this is Israel occupied territory. It's bullshit. We've had enough of that. That's my lanyard.
Christ is king! Christ is king! Christ is king!
I would just say, so you lasted.
Okay, there they are back there. The lady in the pink shirt. I don't know if you all can see it. It's a lady in the pink shirt getting something out of the backseat of a vehicle.
Probably about 30 seconds.
Can y'all see her back there? Left side of the screen. Left side of the video, rather.
They were so quick and ready to remove you. Honestly, I was surprised. I thought because they have Candace Owens,
and then you got a man right there getting out with the red hat right there in the middle.
Maybe they're opening.
So there's a lady there with him. And I would like to know, many of us would like to know, who is this lady?
Things up a little bit. I thought maybe finally America First has entered the mainstream.
And there's this man here. Now, I will agree his posture seems differently. He may even look a little bit taller than George Zinn, but many people have reason to believe. So if this isn't George Zinn, is there somebody out there that can help us identify who this man is if this is not George Zinn? Because I believe it was already reported immediately after September the 10th that was not the first TPUSA event that George Zinn had attended. Now, I believe this is in a completely different state, but nonetheless, this is still a TPUSA event, and this is a George Zinn quote-unquote lookalike.
But it just goes to show.
So as you can see him there.
It is the same old conservatism that we've always gotten, which is Israel first, America last.
All right. So there's that. And I actually got some still shots that I can share. So it's pretty blurry. But here's a still shot of the lady up close and personal. Right? And they say that Candace attended this event. So if Candace attended this event, then hopefully maybe she has some sort of footage from the event. I believe this was in 2024, I believe they said, when she said that she spoke. And this is the George Zinn lookalike person. Now, again, the arms does look longer. He does look a little bit taller. It's a bald white guy with shades on with the goofy button-up shirt. And people have reason to believe that this is George Zinn. So if this is not George Zinn, can people give us or help us figure out or identify who this person is and who was the lady that was with them? Because for those of you that may be missing the point and why this is relevant, if this turns out to be George Zinn and he's there with a person, then who is the person that he's with and why are they attending TPUSA events if he does not like Charlie Kirk? Not that you only attend events for people that you like. Some people go there to be antagonists. But if you're going to later accuse or claim to have, which is a false flag, falsely claim that you were the person to take out Charlie at one of the most politicized, infamous alleged political assassinations in American history, then I would like to know who's attending other events with you. If you all are a part of any organizations, any networks, if this could be his handler, who are you tied to? That is kind of very important. Somebody says, I have videos from that day I was there. I remember Candace and Nick. Hope you're not joking about that. Did you get any footage, if you're not trolling me, did you get any footage of the people outside of the event when Nick was there? This is very important because maybe we can get a cleaned up image of this guy and this lady here, because I really want to know who this is. All right. So Steve Cameron says it's not George Zinn. Zinn's nose turns down into a hook nose. I know. I read you earlier. I got you, but I want to confirm that. I want to be able to confirm that. Two different people. I got you. I want to be able to confirm it. And the best way we can do that, you know, Candace has a reach that I don't even begin to understand. So she would definitely be able to share these photos if we're able to get them to her, if she believes that this could be George Zinn, and maybe somebody can help identify who these people are. Not to harm these people, not to harass these people, nothing of the sort, but to just sort of put the rest if this is George or not. Somebody said, Didi, you freaked out over the Israel speech. You trying to silence? I'm not trying to silence anything. First and foremost, I wouldn't have let most of it play. All right. I agree with the things that Nick was saying there. But YouTube is weird, right? I don't want the video to get flagged, right? The purpose of this is to reach people, to get the message out, right? And there are safe ways to do that on YouTube. Unfortunately, you can't just speak freely, so you have to speak in code, right? Part of the reason why I say that one foreign country when I'm talking about different nations, it's just me being consistent. What state was this in? I believe this was Detroit. Let me go and look. I believe this was Detroit. Let me see here. Let's find out. Believe this was Detroit. Let's see. Yes, it was if anybody wondering, this is from June 14th, 2024. That's the exact date at Turning Point's People's Convention in Detroit. Right? Mm-hmm. And they're saying that once again, they're saying that Candace spoke at this event. And hopefully, if she has footage from this day, or it will be good to identify just who these people are. Right? So. Yep. For sure, man. All right, y'all. So that's sort of my coverage. Those are my thoughts. I just sent you proof to your X page. I think I literally just saw you follow me like 10 minutes ago. Was that you, Steve? 5-10 minutes ago, you followed me on X. Okay. I'll check out your, matter of fact, I'll check it out right here live. Let's check it out live. And let's see. Yep, this is him. I'm watching you live on YouTube right now. Thanks for the follow. I like your work on Charlie Kirk case. However, the George Zinn at the Detroit event is disinformation. Here's the profile views. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'll share this with everybody. Maybe we could debunk this right here, right now. Again, as I always say, you all know I'm about truth. I'm not just about shock value. If we can put this to rest now, let's do it. And it seems like Mr. Cameron may have done this already. Let's see. Okay. George Zinn. I don't look, man. I don't know if this photo is doing the justice you wanted. I see George Zinn nose. Okay, it curves down. Okay, I see what you're saying, actually. I was looking at everything else. Everything else is very similar. Okay, that does look like two different noses. Oh, I just read what you said here. For the retards who still think it's George Zinn. Come on, bro. You ain't got to call people retards. George Zinn, not George Zinn. Okay, fair enough. For the retards. Let's see. Somebody said I watched Valhalla VFT, but he has a questionable past for sure. And I don't really know a whole lot about him. I've made a video about him before, but I just, whenever I see the algorithm, so when you push or hold certain views, not simply because you get a lot of views. No, if you get a lot of views and you deserve it, then I don't care. But when you hold certain views that are typically frowned upon by the establishment, and by establishment, I mean the people who own these platforms, yet I see that you're doing like your channel is just free to just run it up. That's not normal. It's very strange to me. Like, I'm just not used to that. Maybe there's nothing there. Maybe he is just free to do that. And there's nothing suspicious about him. I don't know. It's just from my experience and everybody that has come before me, like even before I became a content creator, it was understood. My favorite content creator of all time is a guy by the name of Chronicles of Judah. When I tell you he's the best content creator ever, like, dude's content changed my life. Seriously. I started watching this stuff and like I was new to all of it. The way he talked, the things that he talked about, how he can like almost like code switching, but it wasn't code switching. He was so versatile. He could talk about everyday life and relationships, giving young men like myself different pointers and things to look out, how to avoid certain types of women to avoid. And then the next video, he'll talk about what many people would consider as conspiracy theories, but he was very well versed. And the most impressive thing about him, it's very hard to say what the most impressive thing about him was his history, his knowledge of history. If this guy is not one of the best historians I've ever listened to that never claimed to be a historian, I would say he's number one. Number one for me. From a content creator perspective, he's second to none. That's coming from me. The dude is incredible. I'm saying all that to say his name is Chronicles of Judah. He has many videos left here on YouTube. He's on Patreon as well. When I say it changed my life, in many ways, I never saw life the same way again. The way he would speak about the scriptures in the Bible, I'm like, dude, who is this person? And he never showed his face. When I saw that they were suppressing his content, I was like, yeah, I don't judge videos like I used to based on the amount of views that you get. You can get a bunch of views on your videos simply because of your connections to other people. You can get views on your videos simply because you collaborated with the right person, or you did something that was so much of a shock value, like you went viral for fighting somebody, or something like that. Or you can get a lot of views on your videos, or you got some other stuff going on behind the scenes. Because I know when they did that to Chronicles of Judah, I was like, nah, you can't tell me nothing. That dude deserves no exaggerations. Every video, he deserves 1 million views, 500,000 views or more. His videos was that dope, for real. That enlightening, that insightful, that objective. It's dope to see that a lot of you all know who he is, because he hasn't posted in so long. I love that dude. He's my number one content creator of all time. Of all time. That dude, I don't talk about him nearly enough, but he was so great that you got people, regular everyday people, making YouTube videos for the first time in their life simply to talk about how Chronicles of Judah changed their life. Even if it was just the way they saved their money, being frugal with their money, investing their money, right? How they looked at politics, and how just because you're a black person, black don't mean Democrat, right? How about you actually hold people accountable for the things that they're supposed to do? That's what I mean. Another level of great. That dude has always inspired me, bro. Yes, I agree. Incredible orator. I know I use certain phrases like him, all of that stuff, man. If I had a big brother, that's what I would imagine my big brother would be like. A dude that's going to tell you the truth no matter how you feel about it. Again, when you see him posting videos and he getting 15,000 views, but when you watch the video, you like, bro, this is a video that's like $750,000, 750,000 view standards or categories, 15,000. What happened here? Well, we know what happened here. When you start checking out his other content, you're like, oh, if you ever decided to become a content creator, Didi, just know this comes with it, buddy. But yeah, man, I went on a rant there about my guy. Let me get to these comments. Shout out to TJ Clark. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm late in the live, but just wanted to say I appreciate you and your content. Thank you so much, TJ. I appreciate you. Big time. Jane Doe, thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the, I know in US dollar, this is a different amount. I just don't know what it comes out to, but thank you for the super chat. Hi, Didi. This is my first live. Love your channel. Sending love. I appreciate that. Heck yeah. You gotta let me know what you thought about it. Shout out to Erika, MK Ultra. Come on, bro. Y'all funny. Thank you for the $2 super chat. That's not George. Didi, what does Stacey Sheridan look like? Very good question. Here, let's look that up. I don't think that's Stacey Sheridan. Maybe it's the other one you talking about. Actually, I think Stacey Sheridan is that's the one that's tied to TPUSA. You right. Oh, Stacey Sheridan. Very great question, and it's great to even consider her. It's not her though. I'm gonna show you all what she looks like. Unless it doesn't work, and I'm not putting it past it. It won't work. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Here's Stacey. Even though she has short hair here, this is what Stacey looks like. And then this is this person. So yeah, I can definitely, this person is a lot easier to tell that it's not Sheridan. It's not Stacey. But great question though. I think that may have come to mind as well. All right. Not very many super chats today. Not a problem at all. Somebody said, Didi, time travel does exist. Just consider that if in any time of the future somebody invents a time machine, then the time machine has always existed. That's true. I'm not here to say if time travel exists or not. I know people do remote viewing and things of that sort. I just don't like to be ignorant, right? And speak on things that I don't fully understand or I haven't been able to fully confirm, you know? So that's the only thing I'm saying, you know? Check out George Webb. I've interviewed George Webb. He is the best journalist. He is a true journalist and a truth seeker and truth teller with receipts, which is different than what you are talking about. I don't know if I'm pretty sure George Webb is the guy that I interviewed on this channel. And I'm pretty sure George Webb said that Candace Owens should be publicly lynched. I'm pretty sure that George Webb was the guy who I interviewed on my channel. He shared a lot of great information about things he found out about Tyler Robinson, how he was into older men, allegedly, just so he can then do a video after he came onto my show, went onto Twitter and said that Candace Owens should be publicly lynched. Which I don't care in any context the way you mean that. You should never utter those words. But he decided to say that, though. You know? Chronicles of Judah gets deep. Y'all know they lied. Some people are unprepared for just how much they lied about everything. Prepare yourself. It's a fact. George Webb is a hateful and very prideful person. I can't speak to maybe the legitimacy of both of those claims, but he does come off as very prideful. He does. I agree with that for sure. Yes, Webb did point to a tree and say Candace Owens would hang from it. Did he say that too? If you didn't understand what he meant by that, which is not what you think by that. No. What he meant was Candace Owens should be publicly shamed, embarrassed, humiliated, I believe for her Fort Huachuca story or for her Egyptian military plane story. Whichever it was, I don't care if you meant that metaphorically, figuratively. When you're talking about a person of color, you probably shouldn't be using that term. And you know that, but you don't care about that, which is insensitive on a whole nother level. I don't respect you. And if he was to ever say that in person, it would be a different story. And I'm not talking about harming the guy, but you're not going to say that without being challenged. I think that's I guess a better way to say that to avoid anybody misinterpreting what I just said. A better way to say it is he would not have said that on this podcast. When he came onto the show, he wouldn't have said that. There's a reason why he said that when he was by himself. You are right about the wording. I appreciate it. He can say that Candace Owens deserves to be debated and humiliated. Fine. Have your opinion on that. But to say the way he said it, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know somebody else super chatted. Thank you. Josephine, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Up with BM, thank you for the $2 super chat. What does Erika Kirk half sister look like? I don't know. I didn't know she did. I know she had a half sister? I know she has a cousin that was her roommate. So I'm not sure. Miss Jilly, you mentioned perhaps doing a video on young Pharaoh. Any interest in that anymore? Ooh, that was a while back. That's good memory. Definitely interested. As you know, I'll be all over the place trying to cover so many different things. I got like 3 videos that I've been working on for like a month and a half. And then other stories pop up. But no, to answer your question, I do have interest in it. I just have to find time for it. Yep. Control your vessel. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Didi, do you still think there's a great possibility that this entire Charlie Kirk narrative is a sob with different agencies contending for supremacy like FBI versus MI6 for? Yes, I mean that never changed. Whether Charlie Kirk is still here or not doesn't change if it's a psyop or not. Let's start there. 2, yes, I do believe that that's what's been going on the entire time. It's just a matter of deciding, believing, proving, coming to terms with the fact if Charlie Kirk played a role in that. I still don't even know how I fully feel about Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk actual marriage being legitimate. People forget, man, they hadn't been married. It's not like they've been married since first out of high school. He didn't know her then, right? They claimed that they met in 2018 and married shortly after that. Y'all, that wasn't even 10 years ago. Right? That wasn't even 10 years ago. That was, what, 7 years? When they met 7 years before everything. So, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, look into Erika Kirk mom. Look into Erika Kirk mom had a daughter before her. Okay. Maybe I covered that and I forgot. $2 super chat. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Coach Colin wants to collab with you. Coach Colin reached out like I think a long time ago, and we exchanged messages a little bit. I got to find some time where we definitely need to collab. That'll happen at some point, for sure. All righty. Let me read a couple of more regular comments, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll give you all a break before Candace goes live. Y'all are funny, man. Y'all are funny. Yeah. She's a person from the past, like a lot of them. Are you talking about Erika? No, that is not what he said. He did not say that. 100% not. Have you set a wedding date yet, Didi? Yes, I have. I'm not gonna say it online, but yes, I have. Let's see. It's so stupid that does not look like Trump is embedded in that picture. You could take any picture and do that. I'm not. No, you can't. You talking about that picture? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think like they're literally like using a meter to scroll and show you. That's 100% Trump. 100%. You can't take any picture and do that. You can't take most pictures that's ever existed and do that with it. Even down to the flag. Like, no. No, you can't. So, anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please hit the like button. That always helps big time. I appreciate you all. And I'm gonna get up out of here. Pray for everybody mentioned in this video, as always. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that is better than yours. Y'all can just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright? No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Talk to me. Now let me start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people who are, or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you?
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.